got it. And done.
Got
And
it.
let me make sure I got it over here. Got it. All righty, y'all. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Islam, Islam, Islam. I am Brother Hasan Ghaziel Bey here in Morocco at Northwest of Maxim. How are you? Guys, happy Holy Venus degree, right? Just I'm enjoying, right, the ultimate goal, because the ultimate goal is about, family, right? And one thing that I enjoy the most about the whole when I say family, I'm not talking about like how people are like, oh, family is some servants. Look, we're here to serve one another. Right? The part of the Quran is, dear fathers, by these lessons, dear fathers, by these lessons, dear fathers, by these lessons, you can set your house in order so that your little ones will learn to love instead of hate, right? So that is what is like really joyous about this. Is why I look forward every time to going live with you guys. Because I know at the end of the day, us being the men that we are, we have a moment to not just set our immediate, locations where we are in order, as far as the energy that we were, reverberate from within ourselves to outside of ourselves. But those that are within ears, within hearing us and eyesight, so to speak, also, but within earshot. Because what we have to always remember is that we're all precious in the sight pertaining to all balanced law pertaining to the zodiac, right? We're all precious in the sight of the law. So no one is like a bigger you or a little I, so to speak. So it's just really great. So just wanted to say that, as I say, happy Holy Venus degree. I guess that's one of many things that I'm thankful for. However, guys, I'm here with my magnificent and beloved broski doski, and whom I'm well pleased, and he is
Islam, peace and love to you all. Happy Holy Degree. Yo soy hermano. Shana Ling Ale. You already know all is well. And man, bro, we do it 4 times as strong, but I just can't really seem to always grasp, bro. What is that other affiliation, bro? Help a brother out.
Whoa. Indeed. Guys, we're going to speak a little casually. You guys had homework last Friday. That was a complete looking at Rule 12. All right, you guys see that this is the intro to Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, Part 4. All right, this is Part 4, not intro to Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 4. However, last Friday we had special guest, Brother Hasan, right, was kicking it with us, right? So with that, we just wanted to kind of, just stay in the energy of just, being brief, being quick with it, you know what I'm saying? Making sure that we're not being too long-winded. We just want to actually hit some points. And with me and my bros, what we like to do is work, more and more towards being better and better and better at kicking attorneys' butts. Because at the end of the day, guys, I'm not saying all attorneys are bad. However, most attorneys that are doing prosecuting, you can kick their butts every time. And it was something that, Malika had reiterated that I want Brother Sean to go over, and I'll just do my ad-libbing to that. We reviewed it briefly before this, and then we're going to go into Rule 5.1. We're going to look at Rule 5.1. All righty, Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 5.1. That's right after Federal Rules of Civil Procedure Rule 5. So we're going to go into 5.1. All right. So, Brother Sean, while you bring up Texas, all righty, Rule of Civil Procedure 12, Texas Rule of Civil Procedure 12. We want to look at Rule 12. And of course, we'll probably bring this up again when we go over Rule 12 in the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. But the Rule 12 is very muy interesante, right? Because there was even some things that I missed. And so, now I have a moment to improve I can improve. Oh, okay, I missed that one step. Cool, not a problem. Moving forward, and the concept behind this, and this, some people are like, oh, well, you got to act like this and be all secretive like this. I think it's pretty easy for those of us that have our hearts in the right place to know how to look at this. So I'm going to be editing on the fly, guys, right? And getting everything that it is that we need. I guess I'm gonna put the same description that we have been having, right? So you guys will still have some reference to what we've been going over, alrighty? And make sure that's in the description for you guys, where I'm going to yield the floor to our beloved brother in whom we are well pleased, Brother Shanaline L, as he reads. I probably go for sentence. He'll read a sentence and I'll go into what I think it is conceptually, because even in class on Thursday in Lawful Living's Bible study class, what I had to realize, like, I skipped that step. I didn't, which lets me know that even I need to make sure I'm staying abreast of, even if I may know the rule overall, it's nothing wrong with going back and looking and double check and make sure, okay, I did hit that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think that's what's really good about it, right? So with that being said, right, let's see. I'm going to do my editing, bro, and I yield the floor to you, Brother Shanaline Mel, Islam.
Islam. Yeah, and shout out to everybody that's studying. Whether ye are just beginning or ye has a few years or ye's been doing it a while. Like, shout out to y'all, like, for stepping up, for knowing that something wrong and looking within first and like, okay, I went along with this, or well, I didn't know this. And now taking that charge or that duty to correct things within oneself first and then deal with the outer. So yeah, shout out to y'all for stepping up and fighting against beings wanting to pull you over for traffic or take your home or take your children or any being trying to infringe upon ye for their energy and their labor. And it's like, and stepping away from that energy of being fearful or just trying to pay something real quick, thinking it'll go away, and that it will never go away. Just because you can pay for something real quick to get it taken care of, don't mean it still won't come back. And yeah, so once again, just shout out to y'all to everybody that's, taking themselves seriously and rising above fear and being love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice to set clear and set straight these beings that have been in corruption and not in good faith for a very, very long time.
Wow.
And with that, I'll yield. So we got Rule 12 here, and if you look straight from TexasCourts.gov, nothing Brother Sean or Brother Hasan made up or nobody else, coming, as they say, straight from the horse's mouth, right? So Rule 12, attorney to show authority. A party in a suit or proceeding pending in a court of this state may, by sworn written motion stating that he believes the suit or proceeding is being prosecuted or defended without authority, cause the attorney to be cited to appear before the court and show his authority to act.
So let me read it like this. If, when one has a sworn written motion stating that he believes the suit or proceeding is being prosecuted or defended without authority. So motions, you would have an affidavit support that motion. And I get it, guys. Go to rvbaypublications.com. There's a section about, motions versus affidavits. I'm not knocking that. That is our foundation. However, what I'm learning in, actually, us showing ourselves approved is that an affidavit is what expresses truth. So truth is expressed in an affidavit, and that affidavit can be evidence in support pertaining to the motion, right? even though I know people say, well, motions are discretionary, you know, they can be denied X, Y, and Z. I think, you know, not when you are solidly following the rules. So if you looking at Rule 12 here particularly, right? Okay, you have a so-called sworn or you affirm, you have a written motion, right? So, and supported by affidavit stating that you basically have, I know it says believes, right? But basically you have, you know, some inkling, right? A hunch, right? You're intuiting that the suit or proceeding is being prosecuted or defended, prosecuted or defended, prosecuted or defended without authority, then one, in a suit or proceeding pending in a court of this state, right? And I know they're talking about Texas, may cause the attorney to be cited, right? That's a citation. Cited to appear before the court and show his authority to act, because a lot of attorneys are acting without the authority to do so. All right. And that's what, like, one of the things that was brought up in class yesterday, you know what I mean? It's like, see, there it is again. What wasn't brought up in class again, I mean, what was brought up in class was what I think a lot of people don't comprehend. You know what I'm saying? And even I missed it. I was like, see that one little part right there. You're right. So with that one
But
little
Brother
part right,
Hasan, don't their so-called bar certificate or license, isn't that authority? Isn't that their authority to act?
no, actually, it's like if there's like, first of all, you know, one would have to find, and it's not hard either. So let's eliminate and speak against the spirit of, oh man, I got to look through all this. Then this is not for you. This is for those who like, okay, well, let me find out what, you know, state statute or administrative code or both that supports that the attorney has to prove their authority. And usually sole proprietors can't hire an attorney, and really not even singular sentient beings can hire an attorney to even like speak for them. Now, if they want to write something up and say that, hey, you know, make it so that you have power of attorney over my affairs, then it's still kind of on a case by case basis. You know what I'm saying? And I guess however you stipulate, however you can withdraw that power of attorney at any time, right? And then also, they're not supposed to be speaking. They're only supposed to be whispering in your ear so you can speak, right? So what I gather even further from this, right, is the fact that the attorneys there has to be some minutes. There has to be a record of some minutes, and those minutes have within it what had proceeded in a meeting. And in that meeting, it must have been a board meeting or a committee meeting, the minutes must reflect that it was spoken about hiring an attorney for that particular organization or corporation. So for that particular organization or corporation, it's spoken, all right? It's spoken and documented, all right? In the minutes, and the minutes shall be producible when it's requested. Hey, we request the record to see the minutes where it was said that this particular attorney is hired to act on behalf of X, Y, and Z, right? You can't, and that's the reason why like the study is important, because the reason why we're studying is for the purposes of preventing people from simulating legal process in snide, slick ways, so to speak. So now the concept behind this is to use Article 4, Section 1, pertaining to the North American Republic Constitution. Article 4, Section 1, which is full faith and credit to the public acts of any state, right? So we already know that public acts, right, are they become the state statutes. All right. So those public acts, right, we're looking at Rule 12 from Texas. this is a public act, obviously, right? Because even though it's a rule of civil procedure, it's in harmony with, you know, honestly, for me, it's in harmony with Bill of Right 1 and Bill of Right 4. All righty. So this is where you can petition, for one, right? Those that are trying to rule your mind, right? Petition the governing energies. And it's for you to be secure in your, for the people to be secure in their person's houses, papers, and effects, right? So now when we're looking at what I'm even going off of with this first sentence that Brother Sean read, now what we have with Article 4, Section 1, full faith and credit, doesn't matter whatever state you're near, but the full faith and credit, you can invoke Texas Rule 12 in harmony with you having an affidavit evidencing why you know that this attorney is acting without the authority to do so. For example, there's some prosecutor that's picked up the case in the name of the state for a so-called traffic ticket. That attorney can be given notice to show his authority, and then the motion can be put on record with a supporting affidavit. And then you set the hearing. That's what I forgot to do. I'm supposed to set the hearing. And I know that sounds wild, right? But that's what you're to do. So this is why we need to be more comfortable. Like, you want to be comfortable with getting, different clothings from, designers that aren't you or your loved ones. You're not Gucci. You're not Yves Saint Laurent. You're not Ralph Lauren. You're not Givenchy. You're not these. That's not your stuff. They've used your estate to make it, but that's obviously not you. And instead of knowing, being so great at basketball, tennis, and badminton and volleyball, here's another court sport to be great at. Right? Because basketball, volleyball, badminton, and tennis are all played on some court. Right? Why not be great at this? This is our stuff anyway. I mean, people didn't come up with this out of anyway, like just out of the blue. All right. So since that's the case, since people didn't come up with it out of the blue, right? Maybe, just maybe, what one can do then is really get great at something that's, really what you've been good at. Forgot? Maybe? That's what I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with that. Maybe you just forgot. All righty. So what would be good to do, actually, is really even go over what I just said now about Texas rule and the strategy of utilizing Texas Rule 12 wherever you are by utilizing full faith and credit pertaining to the North American Republic Constitution for the United States for America. What would probably be even more of a help is to see, how it can be utilized. Maybe, I don't know, what is that rule that Terrell has shared? Was that Rule 902? About official documents and stuff like that and being able to use it. I think it was something like that.
Yep, Rule 902, evidence that is self-authenticating.
Okay, so evidence that is self-authenticating. Rule 902, look at that, right? And some beings will say, yeah, you don't have to authenticate the notary of the birth certificate because it's already self-authenticating. We're hearing so many things out there, right? Anyway, finding within the state constitution what is in harmony with full faith and credit on the so-called federal level or the level higher and the state level constitution, which is the state level constitution is getting, all of its principles and what it's doing from the constitution above it, the North American Republic Constitution for the United States for America, cited as the U.S. Constitution or whatever. However, we're really focusing on the 7 Articles and 10 Bill of Rights. That's really what it actually is for those of us that are clear. The 15th Amendment are not for the salvation of our people.
Bro,
right?
So as an extra layer, we can use Article 6 as well with that Article 4, Section 1.
Correct. To go back to the treaties also, of course, because that's the supremacy clause pertaining to the Constitution, right? So that was just the first sentence in Rule 12, all right? So concept again, full faith and credit, Article 4, Section 1, right? And what Brother Sean just said, even, getting back to the treaties, because that's really what it is for Moorish Americans, right? And to get back to the Treaty of Peace and Friendship for real. You see what I'm saying? So that you can have proper court. But we have to get used to calling the court ourselves, setting the hearings ourselves, doing the notices. It's good to put people on notice. Hey, I'm noticing you that I'm doing this action this type of way in this proceeding because you want to be a prosecutor or whatever, or I was injured and now you're defending someone who doesn't want to, be about, compensating me for the injury, right? Actual bodily harm injury. So let me show you how you don't have authority also, right? So anyway, long story short, with that being said, I'm seeing that it would be wise for us, put them on notice. However, make sure that you're putting them on notice about the motion that's there, right? Hey, put in this motion or whatever. You guys got to show authority. You see what I'm saying? And set the hearing. Don't forget that step. I tell you, I will never forget that step again. To set the hearing instead of waiting on people to set the hearing, right? All right. So with that being said, let's move forward. Brother Sean, I yield the floor. Second sentence.
Indeed. Peace and love, y'all. This live's over. We just told you everything in about 15 minutes. So hope you wrote everything down. But
I know, right?
Right. So
this is just us speaking casually. We'll go ahead.
The notice of the motion shall be served upon the challenged attorney at least 10 days before the hearing on the motion.
So the
notice,
that's
pretty much saying, don't wait. As soon as something happens, immediately do that. Because I know I've done it myself, and just from what I've listened to from Lawful Living and, observed a lot of other places, that we can either get, so caught up in life, or we'll just put it off. And then when it's 2 to 3 days before it happens, we're trying to do all that. And what I've learned is, be on it as soon as it happens.
Islam.
Yeah.
So no, you're right, man. So give them notice of the motion. So you're going to do a motion supported by affidavit of why they're in error, because they have no authority or whatever. And that's why, for whatever state you're near, because they're going to be so-called certified by the state bar. There's no such thing as an attorney having a license to practice law. There is no, they have certificates. They only have certificates. All righty. All right, I yield, bro.
At the hearing on the motion, the burden of proof shall be upon the challenge attorney, not his little bar buddy, judge, anybody else trying to have his back, to show sufficient authority to prosecute or defend the suit on behalf of the other party. Which that makes me think too, on top of this, is that he has to have that statement from the attorney general to be picking up the cases. So that's an extra thing to layer on everything else. It's like
exactly. Like, so you can't prosecute talking about you doing it in the name of the state when the governor, who can only command in the military, didn't delegate the authority to the Attorney General, butthole that thinks he can prosecute and then charge the Treasury. Like, okay, hey, we did this. Now compensate us for doing this because you to do. So that's what it is, right? So again, you got an affidavit that you know that can support a motion that you're going to put in. You put in that motion. Let the attorney know, hey, look, man, you got date. So have your affidavit ready, set your motion, send the notice to the attorney. You know what I mean? Like set the hearing, do the motion, put the attorney on notice that that's what it is. Period. Do the motion, you know, make sure you have supporting affidavit, put in the motion for them to show authority and date. Yeah, I want to have the hearing on, you know, June-vember the 33rd. On the 33rd of June-vember on Zoom. I'm just putting an example out there, you know, whatever you would be, you know, the 33rd of June-vember, right? And we want to have it via Zoom, and the attorney must show their authority to X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? And however, it would be wise to know how near whatever, you know how they are to have either a proof of that authority or the proof, because it's a POA, is either a power of attorney or proof of authority. So they got to have their POA in order to be a POA. They must have a POA to have POA. Does that make sense? They must have proof of authority to have power of authority. All right. So that's what I mean by that. All righty. I yield, bro.
Bars. All right, let's see. Upon his failure to show such authority, the court shall refuse to permit the attorney to appear in the case. And it would be any and all butthole attorneys, right? And
to
shall
appear in the
strike,
cause, right?
And shall strike the pleadings if no person who is authorized to prosecute or defend appears.
So in other words, the case should be dismissed, like all the stuff that was going on, because how is he a competent witness when he's prosecuting for something and he wasn't there? You see what I'm saying? He wasn't there. And then if they're like, well, the guy who gave me the ticket, he showed up to court and he's willing to testify. But he violated Rule 12B of the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. Rule 12B, insufficient process, because he gave you a summons in a triplexed form. It was a complaint, it was a citation, a complaint, and a summons, all on the side of the road. Can't do that. He's a party to a suit. So he fails to state relief. He fails. What is the language again for Rule 12? It's right next to it, ain't it? Oh no, that's Florida rules. Where's your Federal Rules of Civil Procedure, Rule 12, bro? FRCP 12, right? Defenses and objections, right? So, and we already know, for those of us that are part of, Lawful Living, we done seen a few times, right? We done seen a few times, right? Right there, number 4, insufficient process, and number 5, service of process, every time, because every defense to a claim for relief in any pleading must be asserted in the responsive pleading. If one is right, the party may assert the following defenses by motion, right? So failure to state a claim for relief. That's what they're using against us, right? If defense to a claim, they're making a claim against you. Oh, you were doing 55 and 54. So And any plea, and so how are you asserting the relief? Well, okay, well, Rule 12B, insufficient service of process. You could just use 5, Rule 12B5.
Right, and then that goes with the Rule 4C service. 2, any person who is at least 18 years old and not a party may serve a
Exactly.
summons and complaint.
So now you just use Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 4 in harmony with Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 5B12. I mean, 5 Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 12B5. Because a lot of times they're using Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 12B6 against people, which is failure to state a claim upon which relief can be granted. You see what I'm saying? So it's that whole dual-edged sword thing, man, that's there. All right, back to Texas Rule 12, man. I hope we're making sense to somebody, man. Seriously, start in our lawful living loved ones, but continue, bro. And then soon we'll get into our invocation in and just go over Rule 5.1. And it depends on how long it is. If it's really long, then we just tell people to do their homework and we'll come and do Rule 6 next Friday. I yield, bro.
Islam, the motion may be heard and determined at any time before the parties have announced ready for a trial, or any meeting before that, right? When they so-called, quote unquote, summon you to the kangaroo court. You can now put that in, as we said earlier, soon as that happens, to immediately be on that, right? And not wait until the dates and, let them simulate the legal process, right? So the motion may be heard and determined at any time before the parties have announced ready for trial, but the trial shall not be unnecessarily continued or delayed for the hearing.
Right. So it's like, oh, okay, so we can't continue or delay it. You know what I mean? We're not going to unnecessarily continue it. You know what I mean? Because of the hearing. And we're not going to unnecessarily delay it. Because so it's like that hearing should make it not even go to trial, because how's it going to go to trial when they don't have the authority? And this is about kicking these attorneys. They never have anything to win with. Never. All they're using is force. Remember, these beings are liars. They are liars. They are connivers. They look and seek to rob you of your birthrights and estate. Period. Period. So it's like people, at the end of the day, between your rights and some asshole being certified to practice something, between those two things, that something is not properly established to prevent it. Prevention is not set up. The prevention or the demise, prevention is based on you beating the attorneys with what you study. Your demise is based on attorneys taking advantage of either your ignorance or you the rules. Now, we already know we shouldn't have to be dealing with these people. So at the end of the day, yeah, when Brother Sean brings up Article 6, supremacy laws, we need to go to speak on these, on this treaty. Did I injure or wound a Christian? Did I kill or injure, or did I kill or wound a Christian? If I didn't kill or wound a Christian, then we need to stop this. And if I did bring up the great law of peace, because that's the law of the country. Anything else is just somebody, don't listen to those guys. They don't know what they're talking about. They're incompetent. They're speaking on YouTube. They don't know what they're talking about. See, they're not credible. They don't even have that many subscribers. I don't give a fuck what you think. I don't care how you want to slice it, home. At the end of the day, we're telling the truth. And we know there's agents watching us, attorneys watching us. people trying to plot things. We already know. You see what I'm saying? But that's not going to stop us from doing what we doing.
Right.
Because the only thing we can do is continue to get better. Because we don't and take advantage of people. You know what I'm saying? So since we don't do that, you know what I mean? What do you think? It's going to be a loss for us? Never that. All we do is win or get lessons. We don't lose. It's either we win or we get a lesson. That's it. And let's just make a win again. Flat out. So
Right, a lesson is just a win being unfolded.
I mean, ultimately, I just realized I can share this out to Lawful Living yet, to at least the Telegram group, man. So let me do that, right? And share this out to the Lawful Living Telegram, right? Brother Sean, is there any other wisdom you want to share, bro? You want to add? Like even your experience these last couple of days? Because I know it took me to actually, sometimes people won't admit when, oh, dag, I missed that. See, it wasn't hard for me. Oh, dag, you know what? I missed that. That's why I see how this proceeding went like this. I get it now. Cool. And I'm over it. I'm not being myself about it. I'm not trying to go tuck my head in the sand and hide, you know what I mean? And things of that nature. Cool. It's all good. You know what I mean? Principle is truth, because the first principle is I love myself. So I'm sure I know the truth. I trust that I am, example for a lot of beings, to make sure that they do the same. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But what has been your experience? What do you see, bro? What do you think?
And I've learned a lot. I haven't expressed, publicly, some things that happened, but between the bros, you know what I'm saying, we already know. But from what I learned is like, wow, I could have did a lot of things different. That's why I said to be on it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to speak on something I don't know or haven't experienced. So I say what I say is like, be on it, because y'all know just like I know. We can wait. Some will be on and some won't. But what happens when you wait and now you're trying to finish things last minute? And I've done that with the kangaroo courts. I've done it with homework, writing papers, writing a whole 6-page paper the night before it's due. So it's about, not procrastinating, and which I think from just which procrastination stems from is just those thoughts. It's like, oh my gosh, what are they going to do? All these different thoughts that really don't matter. It's just the lower self, the ego, trying to make you not move on what your heart knows. And then you have, beings on the outside. That's another thing, is keeping it private, not telling folks, because folks will be fearful or try to project their thinking or their negative energy onto you, which can throw the situation off anyway. So,
however, I will say I also don't
not
mind.
all of them.
I'm just saying, I also don't mind going, all right, I missed that. Cool. I won't make that mistake again, because I also know that there are a lot of beings out there that we want to see a fall. Look, 7 Hailstar. I mean, this is why we do it too, because we already know that the haters believe in us the most. That's the thing. That's the thing. For those that actually watch but hate, you got to know that you believe in us more than the beings. Think about it. This is my philosophy. I think haters believe in you more than your supporters. And that's not knocking those that support us. You see what I'm saying? I'm not knocking those that support us at all. I'm just saying it takes a lot of faith to be atheist. It takes a lot of faith to not believe in what we call upon. right? Because people say atheist is someone who doesn't believe in God, right? And God, etymologically, is to call upon, to invoke, right? So it takes a lot of faith, a whole lot of faith to do that. All right? It takes a lot of faith to hate. You have to use more faith to hate than love. I don't think you guys get that. So it's a catch-22 in your hate and like, yes, they said they messed up. Well, we're doing this not just for those that support us and that are studying. We do it for you guys too, because we know how to use your energy. No, I do. Yum, yum. Seriously. You know what I mean? Exactly. You know what I mean? We're the yellow dyed vampires, if you want to look at it like that. I'm not calling us vampires, but if you want to look at it like that, that's how you do it. You know what I mean? So remember, your haters believe in you more than your supporters, because it takes a lot of faith to hate. Because look, think about it. You could just not think about us, not have your energy observe us. But since you want a negative outcome to happen, you're using way more energy to hate. Like it takes only 10 muscles face to smile. 10 in your face to smile. Over 200 muscles in your face to frown. It takes a lot of energy to hate.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot of energy to hate, man. Like you got, I don't mind you hating them. I don't mind it one bit. Let's look at these comments before we do our invocation in and read 5.1, right? Alrighty. Hey, John Alexander Dixon Bey says peace and love. 7 Judah Bilal Bey says Islam. Brother Derek Lash Bey says happy Holy Venus degree indeed. Eric Tyrell says peace and love, everyone. Slim Herman says peace and love, nobles. Peace and love to you. Consuelo says peace and love all. Happy holiday indeed. Mother Sahar says peaceful greetings to everyone. Happy Holy Venus degree indeed, Mother Sahar. And Tyrell Bay says, I think he's saying I just put in these motions along with qualified. I think I'm disqualified the judge and haven't heard anything. I didn't do the hearing. Got to set the hearing, because that's why I even realized I was like, that's what I forgot. I forgot to set the hearing. Right. So it is what it is, man. We just got to get better at jurisprudence court, right? I mean, I can get out there, you know what I mean, break an ankle or two, jay your lights out. I'm real good at basketball court. I want to get better and better at jurisprudence court, even though I have some victories, some successes on smaller levels. It's just something now where it's like, cool. Now I'm just going to get better, like period. And I don't care who sees me getting better as you're watching it, right? Like seriously. So shout out to you guys that do attend Lawful Living, right? So with that being said, we're about to do our invocation in. Let me come back here. All right, Brother Sean is going to lead you in our invocation into more Samaritan prayer. I'm going to do the first letter to be read in every meeting. Brother Sean's going to do the second letter to be read in every meeting. Then we'll do Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 5.1, and depending on its length, we go to Rule 6. But if not, that's fine. We get about this chair. All right. And guys, we already know we're going to extend all 5 appendages on the left hand, 2 on the right. And we're going to think, which is symbolic to going within, physically symbolic going within. As you can see, Prophet Nobly Hand standing due guard in his more Sharif Fez and Abba with his feet on a 45-degree angle, how we're going to have our feet. But again, all 5 appendages on the left hand extended, just the index and middle on the right. And we're going to face east and repeat after Brother Sean, either aloud or in your heart. Islam. Islam.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace.
Peace.
Freedom.
Freedom.
and justice.
and justice.
Allah is my protector,
Allah is my protector,
my guide,
I-
and my salvation.
and my salvation.
By night
By night,
and by day.
and
Through his holy prophet,
Holy Prophet,
Noble Drew Ali.
Noble Drew Ali.
Ameen.
Ameen. Islam. All right. Let's get to the first letter to be read in every meeting. All righty. And that was, just to remind you guys, Moorish Holy Temple of Science Administrative Function, pages 48 and 49. All right. And we're going to go to the Moorish Holy Temple of Science Administrative Functions, pages 84 and 85. All right. The following is a letter written by Prophet Noble Drew Ali on the 18th day of January, 1928 in Odomini. He commanded that it be read before every meeting. In 18th January 1928 is 5 months and 28 days after putting in our authority. After that meeting, after having that meeting, it was actually put in on August 1st at 1452. 1928, August 1st, right? The year 1928, month August, the day was the first day. At what time? 1452. But it took place on 20th day pertaining to July. So this letter is being put in 5 months and 28 days after that meeting. All right. Administrative functions. Moorish Science Temple of America, Home Office, 3603 Indiana Avenue. Noble Drew Ali, founder. January 18th, 1929. To be proclaimed in every meeting. Dear brother Islam, I'm glad to know that I have few faithful ones among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and the divine truth. There's a host of jealousy, quote unquote, about me in a movement now by the same people of our nation, claiming it was only a joke and unreal. But now, since they have found out from the government officials and nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon earthly salvation. As an American citizen, Asiatics, earthly salvation, American citizen, not United States citizen. They are working that they can disqualify me so they themselves may take charge of the situation. I have notified all these things to you long ago in the past. It is through the faithful Moors that tribute and uplifting funds, the ones that pay their divine respect to me, and will be remembered. That is why I'm calling upon all faithful Moors to increase their faithfulness to me, your prophet and your movement. I need finance and I need bad. Never before have I needed finance as badly as I do at present, that I may shut this cord that is facing jealousy because of my, quote, fame and nobility, end quote, period. The world will not recognize the movement without me, the prophet, being the head. It has been proven. It has been proven. It has been proven by my work in which I have performed in the last few months, because I was at the governor's inauguration to represent the Moorish Divine and National Movement, and I will be at the inauguration of President for the same cause, Noble Drew Ali. And now we're at the Moorish literature, excerpts from the Moorish Guide newspaper. See there on page 12, handsomely standing Gigar, Prophet Noble Drew Ali in his Moorish Sharif's Fez and Abba. And on page 13 is Divine Warning by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And Brother Sean will be reading this to you all. And I yield the floor, Islam.
Divine Warning by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Prophet warns all Muslim governors ordered to read proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings towards the temple of the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive the reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. Our true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their cardinal button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Drew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways. By order of Prophet Noble Drew Ali.
That's long, broski broski. So let me find Chrome. Bingo bango. There we go. So, guys, civil procedure. And again, we went over the history, you guys. Remember, this is part 4. So part 1 and 2, you guys will see the slideshow that we went through for the Judicial Conference, right, of the United States, which was, what was it? The Conference of Senior Circuit Judges or something like that it was called before. You guys can go back and check for yourself, because these federal rules of civil procedure are way before, Article 4, Section 1 for the Constitution ratified 1791, right? So you got to think, that Constitution was basically stating federal rules of civil procedure. The Constitution was stating in Article 4, Section 1, which is prior to these federal rules of civil procedure, in, the manner prescribed by Congress, how the full faith and credit is to, happen, right? So that's why it's like, even as we're going over these, at the end of the day, another reason why we're going over these, so we can know that this is what we don't have to do. Technically, we don't, because we're not the ones that are obligated to do so. However, if you make a decision to beat these attorneys up, you can use these rules against them, right? You don't play in the NBA. All righty. So can't nobody tell you can't play basketball. Hold on, you weren't drafted by a team in the NBA, so you can't play basketball. That's ridiculous. Since you don't have a bar, you can't, exercise jurisprudence. What? And some people are like, well, what you're saying is if you're good enough at basketball, you can beat a professional one-on-one. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Because what if you can report that the professional is doing something that that, okay, boom, that getting away with something that they shouldn't be getting away with. Like the Euro step, where people are like, hold on, but that's a travel. It really depends on when that ball is being bounced and the step is being taken. You know what I'm saying? Just saying. However, we're here at Rule 5.1, Constitutional Challenge to a Statute. Constitutional Challenge to a Statute. Constitutional Challenge to a Statute. Notice, certification, and intervention, right? So, how long is it? Well, it's pretty short. There's notes right there. So it's A through D. All right, Brother Sean. I yield the floor to you, beloved brother Islam.
Indeed, I'll do the reading while you get your.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I'm serious, member.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is I still think, yeah. I think we're gonna just do 5.1 though, man. Cut it short. Like, have you guys have these bites, just a small fight, and then you guys can concentrate on the speaking casually before doing
that's the meat.
And now we're going into the lesson.
So-called
right?
meat and potatoes right there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
the beef, that's the canola and lion's mane, the potatoes.
He said the quinoa. Yeah,
Quinoa.
hilarious.
Oh man, okay, quinoa. So what? I've been saying that wrong this whole time. I always thought it was canola.
I mean, it's spelled like quinoa though, bro. I can't knock that. So it's potato, quinoa, quinoa. I'm not knocking it.
Okay, see, look. I might have said it wrong. I didn't get down in the dumps and throw my diaper in the air full of shit. I'm like, I might have said that wrong.
Who said it's quinoa though? Quinoa. I mean, but I just said it so people would know tomato, quinoa, quinoa. It doesn't matter. You might actually be pronouncing it correctly. Who said, you know what? We're going to call this quinoa. Like it might be called something else. Indigenous people might have called it something else. You know what I mean? But anyway, I yield.
Okay, you got me tripping because I started thinking of kimchi. I don't know why I started thinking of kimchi when you say quinoa. But okay, however, Rule 5.1, constitutional challenge to a statute. A, notice by a party that files a pleading, written motion, or other paper drawing into question the constitutionality of a federal or state statute must promptly. 1, file a notice of constitutional question stating the question and identifying the paper that raises it if a federal statute is questioned and the parties do not include the United States, one of its agencies, or one of its officers or employees in an official capacity, or B, a state statute was questioned and the parties do not include the state, one of its agencies, or one of its officers or employees in an official capacity. And 2, serve the notice and paper on the Attorney General of the United States if a federal statute is questioned, or on the state Attorney General if a state statute was questioned, either by certified or registered mail, or by sending it to an electronic address designated by Attorney General for this purpose. Which with that is send it certified or registered mail. Or if you don't want to do that, it looks like you can send an email. Because usually from what I've seen when I've been gathering contacts is that an Attorney General has a clerk to handle that. So you can send those both ways. Right, and then just before I go into B, everybody should look up in their state republic constitution where it says if any state statute violates the constitution, the judgment or whatever is void. I'm paraphrasing because I know I can look at
anything repugnant to the Constitution is notwithstanding. Anything repugnant to the withstanding is unconstitutional. So notwithstanding is another way of saying unconstitutional, because withstanding is constitution. To withstand is to have a constituting stance, so to speak. But stand and stance is the STIT in constitution. So con in Moorish Latin is with. Stit is stand. Ution is the state of. So the state of stand, or the withstanding state. So anything that's not withstanding is because not is withstanding. Institution, unconstitutional. All right.
Next one, B, certification by the court. The court must, under 28 USC subsection 2403, certify to the appropriate Attorney General that a statute has been questioned. C, intervention, final decision on the merits. Unless the court sets a later time, the Attorney General may intervene within 60 days after notice is filed or after the court certifies the challenge, whichever is earlier. Before the time to intervene expires, the court may reject the constitutional challenge, but may not enter a final judgment holding the statute unconstitutional. D, no forfeiture. A party's failure to file and serve the notice or the court's failure to certify does not forfeit a constitutional claim or defense that is otherwise timely asserted.
Whoa. That sounds like some tunk stuff. Back to B, however. Certification by the court. The court must, under 28, hey, there go Title 28 again. USC 2403, because of how you disqualify USC 455. But according to that particular federal statute, that they call it, the United States Code, which is Codification of the Public Acts.
Department of Justice, Title 28.
Yep. Let me double click on it.
Getting better remembering.
Sure. So let's just click. Boom. Let me click on Title 28. Right. United States Code. Let me do that. United States Code Title 28 is Judiciary and Judicial Procedure. That's what Title 28 is. Judiciary and Judicial Procedure. All right. We hit back twice. 28 United States Code 2403, intervention by the United States or a state, constitutional question. In any action, suit, or proceeding in a court of the United States to which the United States or an agency, officer, or employee thereof is not a party. Wonder what if they are a party, right? But it's so funny because a lot of prosecutors will pick up a case in the name of the state without delegated authority to do so. So technically, they're not a party of the state. However, since certified by the state Supreme Court. Anyway, wherein the constitutionality of any act of Congress affecting the public interest is drawn in question, the court shall certify such fact to the Attorney General and shall permit the United States to intervene for a presentation of evidence if evidence is otherwise admissible in the case for argument, right? Argument is basically, let me give you reason why, we object this as an argument. On the question of constitutionality, the United States shall subject to the applicable provisions of law, have all the rights of the party, and be subject to all liabilities of a party as to court costs to the extent necessary for a proper presentation of the facts and law relating to the question of constitutionality. And it's funny because at the end of the day, what's funny is how you can use this, because if you're defending yourself, you're not in your official capacity being someone who works for the state. You don't work for a state agency or the state, period. Not in your official capacity. It keeps saying official capacity. So it's not saying that you can't sue them in their private capacity or they're a party. If they're a party in their official capacity, it's like, remove that. We need you in your private capacity. But what was you about to say, bro, Sean?
I'm just laughing at myself, bro. You know how that's how I like when I study and I'm making jokes. That's how I know I get it. So instead of like when Rakim was like, I got a question as serious as cancer, right? I got a question. Is the statute constitutional?
Basically, like, is it?
Isn't right? Because when you think of right, what they try to charge people with, it's like, one, we don't have an oath of office. Two, we don't work for you. So how can they try to use codes and statutes against those that haven't made a separate handwritten statement, took an oath, or contract to work for them? And that's back to that Rule 12B. I think it was like number 7. Not at the same party, right?
Hold on, say it again. Which rule?
12B, 7, yeah, failure to join a party under Rule 19.
And
not like kind.
let's see. Hold on. Back up. Back up. I know we on rule. Right. Back this up one more time. Bring up what you talking about. Rule 12. Right. And you saying B7, failure to join a party under Rule 19. Right? Mm-hmm. So that's like someone, you know, let's say someone tries to use, like, okay, Malika was going over the evictions and stuff, and we already know it's supposed to be a due process. According to HUD, a due process hearing by HUD, and it should be public housing. And only two reasons you can be evicted is for drug eviction or domestic violence eviction. So they fail to join who the party should be, and that should be the Department of HUD, the Secretary of HUD, and those that are under it. So any attorneys that are using like sheriffs to evict people, they have now done this. In my concept, it would be good to go over and ask Malika, like, hey, because this is what we do. We make sure other beings that are on this information, like we're on it, we, you know, powwow, so to speak, quote unquote, with each other, you know, and throwing the concepts around, because it's easier to do with people that get it. It's harder to do with people who are vampires and just want to keep asking questions if it's right or wrong the way they're doing it. You see what I'm saying? Like, I get it if you're asking once or twice, really good at going on. And that's what I did with Brother Taj. I did what I needed to do. If I had something, and I will present it and then be like, look, correct me if I'm wrong. You see what I'm saying? That's what I would do. You see what I'm saying? Not annoying, you know what I mean, someone and wanting me to check their stuff. And no. And that's why I enjoyed back in the day, like being able to show up and, you know what I mean, see what's going on, ask the question by being at the so-called lecture or whatever. Other than that, you guys want my bros. Anything that you're dealing with, you got to respect our energy and stop bitching and moaning if we say, yo, respect our energy. In other words, you know what I mean, compensate us for our time. Other than that, leave us alone. You know what I'm saying? We got that we're taking care of. Our own things that we're making sure we're sharp at. We don't have time to waste our energy and make sure you can put a straw in our energy or sucking off of our energy. No. Compensate us, come with us. And then we'll make the decision if we want to even take that time. And when we do take that time, we're only going to speak on what is germane to speak on. You're not about to sit here and ask us 50 million questions. And you're not going to sit here and ask us about anybody else. So we're going to just focus on you and your stuff. And that's it. All right. So you guys do a homework on Rule 19 to comprehend what we went over there for what Brother Sean was saying. If you want to look at it, because we're gonna get to this, we already know, and soon when we get to the federal rule of the civil procedure, which is different, you know, sort of like from Texas rule civil procedure 12, right? Rule 12 for the Texas rule of civil procedures, which is what we went over and speaking casually, but join a party under Rule 19. So I think that the attorneys and the sheriffs that they hire to do so-called evictions fail to join who should be HUD, that should be doing the due process hearing under 42 United States Code 1437 DK, right? And that D is 1437D, not 1437 space D. No, it's 1437D, like it's all one thing. And then part K. Back to 5.1. And after this 5.1, we're going to do our invocation now, guys. And we're on the floor on this, all right? Because Brother Sean already read it down to D, but I have to kind of go, right? And the intervention and final decision on the merits, I think you guys should read this over. See, this is what I think I really want to do with this one, and why I'm going to keep it short. It's one thing to hear us read it. It's another thing for you to stop yourself and read it. Stop yourself from just, oh, okay, I just got the words. I can pronounce the words. No, make sure you get it. Maybe turn it around and see if you comprehend what's being said so that you can be able to actually say it yourself. And then when you go to ask for clarity, hey, am I getting this or is this and this like this? And then you'll get a quicker response. Like when we're within lawful living and I say something and I ask, usually it's like, look, I'm open for correction, so correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like this, and that, and that. And either Malika, Bobby, Keith, or McReal would be like, yay or nay. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's what it is, right? Because I know how to conduct myself. I'm for real, not for a benefit, not for a kumbaya experience. That's not why we're doing this. All right, we're here to, in order to change people, you must change their literature. All righty, dear fathers, by these lessons, you can set your house in order so that your little ones will learn to love instead of hate. So I trust I'm being the best example that I can be without having people think that we're pushovers, how kind we are. All righty. We're not pushovers. And we're not kind because we're pushovers. We're kind because really we've done really great in controlling our short tempers. Am I off about that, Brother Sean?
Oh, no, you're right. Because, I mean, just because we can speak casually, be kind, it can flip just like that. And you're like, whoa, hold on, brother. I ain't even, you know what I'm saying?
And then we're the ones
whoa, I didn't know
crazy.
you had that side to you, right? Yeah, they try to turn you crazy. It's like, how's it crazy when it's like poking the bear and the bear fucking snaps and smacks your ass to eat you? It's like, oh, the bear smacked me, ate me. What did you do to the bear? Oh, I just kept, poking him and trying. And, some folks, me, I'll take me as like, I'm very calm and cool, and folks can pick and I could say some things, and then it gets to the point, it's like, yo, all right, you have been given multiple passes. And they'll be like, oh, you're crazy. Nah, you crazy for thinking that you can keep getting away for something. And then when folks call people out on their shit, then they try to really say you're crazy. And it's like, I'm crazy because I'm pointing out what you're doing. Like, okay, whatever.
What is it? Purple and sometimes my shoes have my toes out. That means I'm a fucking gump. Okay, you get. But then what happens when I wow your entire existence? Now, oh, see, the brother, he ain't holy. See, he just went in nigga mode. No, I didn't. I went into I'm dropping the world on you mode. Like, so why don't you just remain respectful? That's for brothers and mothers, especially those of you that think, since we're Moorish American, we something. We don't owe you shit. All righty, we're fucking spoiled. So we already do what we do every Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Stop being spoiled. All right. Start appreciating what it is that we do. Because there are people out there that do, and at times they send, and no matter what it is, they send a little cash app or whatever, or a certain amount of cash app, and for appreciation, they don't even ask for our time. However, what it is that they send keeps the website up. Right? Until we do what we need to do and put in the documentation and not have to concern ourselves with exchanging something. But at least what we're already doing with the people's finance is doing that. We're not getting high with it. We're not trying to roll the biggest blunts with it. We're not doing that. We're taking finances, making sure we have a website, making sure at least the phone is still working. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, it's just enough left over to maybe do some shopping for some groceries. Maybe. When really what we should be asking for, what, $1,500 to $7,000, like you people do when you go to get packages that you think is going to be your end all be all, and these people don't go over the lessons with you, even use that documentation. Get a life. All right. So guys, make sure you do your homework on 5.2 short. And what your homework is for rule 5.1 is to make sure you comprehend for yourself what it is, not just how we say it. Make sure you can put it in your own terms. Like Brother Sean said, when we get to joking about it, that's when we know we comprehend it, because we know it. You see what I'm saying? And that's what we do anyway when we study, because once we study and the wheels start spinning, it's like, yo, hold up. And then we get to bounce off each other. You know what I'm saying? And see what it is. Because sometimes I'll see something some way and I'll explain it. And then Brother Corey He's super famous. So it's like, this is how I'm thinking it is. And once he shares that, I'm like, okay. I do see it like that. Okay, got you. Right? You know what's funny too?
What's that, bro?
LII is saying Legal Information Institute, but that's another way of saying 5 on the left, 2 on the right, 52. Because we know in Roman numerals, L is 50 and II is 2. Just wanted to point that out. Just how they do American Law Institute, ALI, that's Ali. I be paying attention to certain stuff like that, yo. It's like, look at that. That's 5 on the left, 2 on the right there with the LII. All right, it's like saying 52. All right. So, guys, we're going to yield the floor here. We're going to, any questions, comments, and or suggestions, guys? Questions, comments, and or suggestions? Somebody said it froze. Is that? Okay. Maybe it froze for a short time there, Slim Herman. So I try to freeze for everybody. I still see it's 12.
It has been a little glitchy.
It has been glitchy.
I think on your part, because I thought it was mine. I'm like, oh, I'm about to go out, and then it'll stop. It'll kind of glitch. But you already know, like, for when just the energy be when we get studying and going into those beings out there, those secret beings trying to disqualify and stop scheming every type way. So, you know, that's all different ways.
Close the doors.
Close it. They're going in, but wait, it's a little interesting too. Hold on, leave it for just a second. Yeah, that's why I said it takes a lot of faith to hate. So, okay, look, we're ending this off within the astrological degrees of Aquarius. Interesting too. In the first house is interesting delays. We can look at Saturn as, you know, delays or the infrastructure secured within the institution, right? So we just finished going over the federal rules of civil procedure and comprehending it for ourselves, sharing it on the internet. Can't even make this up. And we are AstroCivics in doing so, right? The Pisces Virgo axis is intersected within the 1st and 7th house axis. All right. So not only is Saturn ruling the 1st house along with Uranus, but Neptune. So Saturn, Uranus, Jupiter, and Neptune are ruling the 1st house. Looky astro, while the Sun and Virgo are ruling the 7th. So we see Saturn and Neptune here. Where's Jupiter here in Taurus? Where's Uranus, right? Jupiter's in the 2nd, Uranus is in the 3rd. So we really are kind of bringing you some wounded healing values to help you move forward away from your comfort zone, further expanding those values and ideals so that you can be able to possess the proper thinking necessary to help you make the sudden changes in your values so it can be further communicated to you how to actually relate to others, and it may be seeming like luck, but you have the fortunate way to be much healthier in your thinking and further secure yourselves in the heart and have, have a little, what's 19 degrees again? I know that's 2 degrees off of homicide. 19 degrees. Aries. Gemini. Oh, Gemini. Give me 1 second. I already got
17 degrees. 17 degrees Gemini is homicide.
Let's see. Nothing there specifically is by Bellatrix, and then 19 degrees 54 minutes is the Mars Saturn conjunction from March 7th, 1944.
So that's moved. Okay, so that's what it was then for that time. So what I can say is what we can do here is allow our hearts to be secure with energy plans pertaining to actions, because there's some fated interactions that we must have the details for so that we can be able to not only relate to others, but be able to relate in a way that is possibly unexpected. So instead of delaying yourself, you can allow yourself to build your infrastructure and being secure in how you institute the things that are shared on the internet by some AstroCivics. All right, I just wanted to bring that right. So, and who knows when it was like some freezing going on, but it is what it is, right? And this is from the perspective of the Baltimore Corporation, Maryland State Republic. All righty, I'm going to stop the screen share there. Brother Sean, any other questions, comments, and or suggestions while
It's your astrology, right? Astrology and civics go hand in hand. It's like, well, what do you mean astrology and civics? Well, say for simple, someone might have a Mercury retrograde. They might not be able to, get that information from beings outside of them. It's gonna be like, hey, we can point this out or say this so that you can get it for yourself. And I mean, there's just so many levels that we can do that we don't speak about. We go in, right? When we go in every Monday and Wednesday, I mean, there's so much more. So, it'll happen when it comes, but yeah, definitely get the astrology. We have other things to get. Continue to love yourselves and study. And just continue to enjoy the journey with a destination unknown as we honor Prophet Noble Drew and enforce the teachings that he brought for ourselves and for our loved ones, for the babies. Because think about it, what we are doing now, we are pioneering, setting things up so for when the babies get older, they don't have to go through what we went through, right? Because you can look at like, well, they didn't do this, then okay, you know what? Cool, right? It's understood. They didn't know. Well, they were scared. But now, for us that are here are not scared, we're going to get this fixed and set in order so our babies don't have to suffer. And our friends' children and, everybody else, pretty much the whole collective, the globe, is going through a very, very deep cleansing. And will continue to. And like I said, you can be, you can be like beings when it comes to nature's law. You can either get down or you can lay down, right? Get down and lay down with nature's guide, nature's law. And also within yourself too, right? Because not being in tune and harmony with yourself, you won't be in tune and harmony with the universe, which is you. So at the end of the day, one is just out of tune with themselves and just taking necessary steps every minute, hour, which, man, when you really start to not even look at time, because time can be very restricting, right? Saturn and Pisces retrograde, think about that. It's just all a process. It's all a journey. So just enjoying and loving the journey. And, like I said, getting your who am I, what's my purpose, your mirror. I know I do the mental magician, but I have a lot of other stuff too. And it's really just reaching out and, thinking about whatever that you need. And, with our insight and intuition, we can probably get more or know what direction that one needs to go, what they need to be given to help themselves. So it's all that, man. It's all peace and love, happy holy day to everyone. And yeah, I yield.
Islam. C. Thomas says Islam. Slim Herman says facts, beloved. But Dr. says peace, everyone. Islam. Consuelo says Islam. Peace and love to all. Guys, we're going to do our invocation now. We're going to extend all 5 images on the left hand, just the index in the middle on the right. We're going to do our invocation. All right. And to do the invocation out. Want to face east while our feet are on the 45, and you can repeat after me either aloud or in your heart. Islam.
Islam.
Islam. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace.
Peace.
Freedom.
Freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide.
My God.
And my salvation.
And my salvation.
By night.
By night.
And by day.
And by day.
Holy prophet.
Through his holy prophet.
Noble Drew, Ali.
Noble Drew, Ali.
Amen.
Amen.
Alrighty, y'all. Thank you all so much for joining us. Part where we say to you all, rest and recharge well. We'll see you all Sunday for chapter 40. Chapter 40 in our Quran devotional countdown. And rest and recharge well. We love you all. This is where we say to you all, namaste, namaste, namaste. Islam, 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 y'all. Peace.
Peace and love.